Hi guys, Roxanne here from Tiny Home Living. It's another cold, dreary day on the prairie, but I shouldn't even say cold. It's 1 degree above Celsius. It just feels different when it's so gray and dreary, but we're going to go out to Tiny House 2 and get some work done today. Chris has got the shelves all cut, and we're going to put the rest of the food vaults up on the shelves out of the way and try and get some more trim done today. But before I go out there, I just want to ask you to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this video with your family and friends. We really appreciate it and hope you're enjoying the videos. We are actually going to make pizza again today because the pizza was so good last night, and Chris was a total pig and had 5 pieces because he thought it was so good. I was complaining because there wasn't any leftovers for lunch today. But I also want to show you, I mentioned in the last video that I didn't get the 2x4s at the lumberyard when I got the sheet of plywood because it was going to cost $10 almost for a 2x8 or 2x4, 8 foot. So we had gotten some skids that I showed you, and we're going to continue to do that. But it was a 12-foot skid, so Chris took it apart today, and he got, I think he said 6 2x4 12-footers. So that's probably at least $60 worth of lumber, and got it for free. So among all the other skids that we got. So anyway, let's go out and have a look at what's going on in the tiny house today. Already got the fire going, so it's nice and cozy out there. See what else we can get done as far as trim and stuff goes. The other thing I wanted to mention was that this bread actually did turn out good. We had some with my Haskap jam on it this morning. It's not as soft and fluffy as Rita's. She's the best. And but it looked a little burnt on top, but it really isn't bad at all. And my puppy loves the crust anyway. So I looked out my recipe that I used many years ago when I was a stay-at-home mom, and it's sort of funny because it doesn't, I have this as a photocopy. My very first cookbook that I ever bought was Betty Crocker cookbook. Because I was like 15 or 16, because it had everything on, like the cuts of beef, and it had how to make bread and how to whip meringues, and pretty much just covered everything. So it was kind of an all-around good cookbook. But I honestly think that the reason I chose that one was because the Easy Bake Oven that my sister and I got for Christmas one year, it was a Betty Crocker Easy Bake Oven. So when I went looking for cookbooks, I mean, I was still a kid, I picked the Betty Crocker cookbook, and this bread recipe is from that cookbook. So I got looking at it. Those 3 loaves, the recipe that I used last night had 6 cups of flour, and it said to divide it into 3 loaves. So that's, like I said, the bread I used to make, the loaves were so big and would be spilling over the pans if the yeast was nice and fresh. So I got looking at this recipe, so that I divided into 3 loaves for 6 cups, so 2 cups per loaf. And this recipe that I used so many years ago was 7 to 8 cups of flour for 2 loaves. So that's a huge difference in the size of the loaf. That's why my loaves were so big. Now what I did is I did the math here, and I used to make 6 loaves, 4 loaves, and most of the time I made 10 loaves. And it makes me laugh to think that I did this with a wooden spoon. 35 cups of flour. I have this huge stainless steel bowl, and I used to mix this with a wooden spoon. I don't think I could even do it without dying now. But I just thought this was kind of funny when I got it out to look at it. Like, I stirred 35 cups of flour in with all the other ingredients to make 10 loaves of bread at a time. And they were huge loaves. But I literally, there is no way I could stir 35 cups of flour with a wooden spoon. I don't even know how I did it. Like, that's just crazy. But I was a lot younger and a lot stronger. That was like 40 years ago. So anyway, I just thought you'd be interested in that. If anybody wants the recipe, I'll probably post it when I do actually make some of this bread. So what I think I'm going to do, because my KitchenAid is a commercial one, I can't remember. It's like an 8-quart. I bought it when I had my little bake shop. So I think what I'm going to do, the other thing I like about this recipe, and this cookbook did this with a lot of things, it would have a cream pie and then, you know, it had all the different versions like chocolate cream, coconut cream, banana cream, and this does the same thing. So there's cinnamon raisin bread, cornmeal, and you know what, I was thinking, wow, that's a lot of milk, and that's probably why this tasted better too, because this has milk in it, whereas the other recipe I used last night has water in it. So, and you know, if I end up getting a cow, I can imagine it would taste even better. But I noticed that it has egg bread, so you can decrease the milk and add 2 eggs in. And because I have such an abundance of eggs, I think I'm going to try that one first. And see how this turns out. Now, I'm not sure, my yeast seemed to work fine, but it's not the freshest. I do have another big jar of it in the freezer because that's the best place to keep it. And I also have a couple more jars of it I might have to test to see if it's even good anymore. And then I have a brick of it that's like shrink wrapped kind of thing. I forget the way it comes from Costco. So I definitely don't want to open that until I have to. So I will test my yeast, and so I might make 2 loaves of this maybe tomorrow. I'm not really sure. As you can see, I had to do the dishes this morning, and there's no room in here when I have to do that. So I'm going to go help Chris, see what we can get done out in the tiny house, but I just thought you might be interested in looking at the differences in the bread recipes and everything. So I think the fact that the stuff I used to make had milk in it might make a difference too. But if your yeast isn't fresh and isn't really good, it won't fluff up as much, and that could be a part of the problem with this bread I made last night too, is that my yeast, it was activating but not like really bubbling like I've seen it with fresh yeast, so that does make a big difference. And I think it might be time to get sourdough starter going again, because who doesn't love sourdough bread? My goodness. Anyhow, just thought you'd like to see that, and I was kind of laughing last night when I looked at this recipe. Oh yeah, I stirred 35 cups of flour into a bowl to make bread. Can't believe it. Tires me out enough just scraping down the bowl when the machine's doing the work. Anyway, let's get to work. Look who's here to greet me. No, you're not coming in. What is this? 2, 4, 6, 8 chickens on the step. And there's going to be lots of poop, isn't there? Hey? No, you guys can't come in. Come on. Out of the way. My goodness. They literally think I'm going to let them in the house. Yeah, you crazy chickens. Yeah. Rusty's wattle actually looks really good. The bottom black stuff fell off and you can't even tell now. Yes, you're still pretty scruffy looking. Yeah. So this is the lumber that Chris took apart from that one skid. And we used the slats from the other skid like I showed yesterday. So these are 12-foot 2x4s. So, and they don't have to be pretty, and then you got all these different lengths of 2x4 too. So, and like I said, we're sort of choosing, you know, we can pick and choose the skids right now. So these ones are almost all like perfectly clean, and those ones over there too. So that's a lot of lumber. Free lumber. Oh, it's so nice and cozy in here. I'm leaving my pizza stone out here. I brought these peppers out here because we don't have room in the fridge for them. It was so much cheaper to buy the bag, so I'm going to see if it's actually cool enough to put them in the fridge here. Like, it's better than being in the hot kitchen, so... and there's already some condensation on the bag, so I don't want that. So I'm just going to leave them in there. So here's what this looks like now, and Chris is just getting this 2x4s ready. He's going to notch them so that they go in here. The plywood goes into the 2x4s, and we're going to put one in between these two, and one at the end. And then that fifth one is actually going to go up on the shelf because we want the batteries to go on the floor down there. So now this, you can see, sticks out a little bit. We put those ones the other way. These ones stick out a little bit, but this way it's sort of lower. We lowered them down so that it's easier for me to reach. And then this shelf isn't as close to the ceiling. So if I have tall stuff, I can put it up there. So you can see where that sticks out a bit now, but by the time you get the door jamb on here, the door's not really going to be obstructed much. So, and if you had to get like a fridge or appliance in or out, you could take the door off the pins. So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to check and see if the wood needs to be stoked. Yeah, I think we'll add some more. Where's my tools? My poker. Get some more wood on this fire. Make sure I don't get a door in my butt. Ooh. Put a couple in here. It's actually quite warm in here now. I should get a better thermometer so I can see how warm it is. Now I've left this door ajar a bit, and I did push that in after I got the stove going really good, because then the heat's, if you put the door ajar, the oven's warm, but most of the heat's going to come in the room. I'm getting pretty good at this now. So does the plywood have to be lifted up to put in the glue?
Yeah, it's sagging right now.
Oh, okay. The short level? Check that. Just giving it the hairy eyeball?
This way?
Yeah.
That's good enough.
Oh!
There.
Isn't that awful?
Okay.
That's one of the heavy ones, isn't it?
Yeah. 60. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, should I tack them or just...
I think they should be okay without being tacked. Maybe just one at the top, like down through the plywood.
Yeah, in case we bump it.
Yeah.
Or you bump it.
Yeah. Now should we put a couple at the back of the plywood or no?
No, I just do in the front corners.
Okay.
They won't go anywhere.
Okay. So the other thing I'm going to do right now, we're going to put these fuzzy things on the bottom of the food vaults that are on the floor because they are going to scrape the floor being pulled in and out, and I don't want that. This floor's already scratched a bit. So we're going to put these on now, and so we're going to wrestle with the heaviest ones, the ones that are down on the floor, and see if we can get these things on there. Chris is joking that he's going to get me to lift them. They're too heavy for him. Funny guy. So I guess just tip it up. I'll tip it up and you can stick them on, or
No,
you
you
want
gotta
it?
put it on there.
Okay. Oh, on this side. Oh, right. Okay.
You wanna do these 4 or?
Well, I was just going to put 2
Oh,
on.
this way is the weight, so
Yeah.
that'll stay on. I guess
Yeah, I don't know if they will,
they're
but
not moving much.
yeah. I think just tipping it onto the weight is going to make it. Oh, yeah. It's going this way? Yeah. Oh, those ones are going the other way, Chris.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I need a red bar. It's awful hard to get good help these days. That's why I was talking about tipping it.
You wanna tip it this way?
Yeah. Don't drop it on my broken foot.
No, I think I should run them the other way.
Okay.
Okay. Wash your toes. And we want to go there, right? Underneath this.
Oh my goodness. So this one, we'll leave that
I
one.
want the white flour here, right? So you have flour and flour.
Yeah.
Blur.
So I've got 3 of them with white sugar.
What's this flour?
Yeah, it's because it's empty. I've been waiting to fill it up. I've been having muscle spasms in my back for a few days from pushing these out of the other sea can and then going and getting skids yesterday. So I'm trying not to put my back out again. I've done it a couple times and it is absolutely excruciating. Something pinches in my back. Okay, which one are we doing now? This one? Let me just brush the sugar off the top of that one first.
Stuck on.
What was it? Okay.
Try
I
to
might
water.
have to get some hot water to do it then.
Yeah, I got most of it.
So which, it's going on there, right?
Yeah.
So. I'll do the hardest part, getting the paper off. Chickens don't even mind when it's snowing a bit, as long as it's not too cold. Okay, so that one, we'll do that one now.
It's white sugar again.
Yeah, I've got 3 with white sugar in. Can't have too much white sugar, right? Glad I had these long ones.
Sweep in there.
Oh, yeah. So Chris got a bunch more of my junk out of his trailer. Brought the stove vent in. Can't have too much rice, alright? Another couple 50-pound bags there. So we've got this organized. We put fuzzies on the bottoms of these ones. We've got flour, sugar, rice, flour, sugar, flour, coconut flour, and brown sugar. So one of these I'll end up switching to pizza flour, probably. But now you can see how, like I said, I've got lots of space up there because we lowered this down. Canning pots can go up here. Things like my jelly pan can even sit on top of that. So I've got tons of space, and this is all my miscellaneous, well, some jars and lids and everything, and then more in there. I've got more in the other sea container. So now I've got a lot of room for this stuff to get it up off the floor and out of the way. I'll probably end up putting a shelf up there too, but we got to figure out where the instant hot water heater is going to go first. I think that's going up there. So, and then once this is out of here, like I say, the washer and dryer will be going there, freezer there. So I got this mess all swept up. Now I'm not tripping over food vaults over here. I'm gonna get these vents put back on, and Chris is gonna put some trim on in the bathroom. Get some of that stuff out of the way as well.
There. Okay, see if this one fits somewhere. There we go. Temporary one there. And I can do that, those two. Tape.
When I put another coat of paint on the window jambs, I will fill that in as well, because that's enough to make me go cuckoo. Gonna put this filler in here too. Those pieces are just getting tacked because they'll have to be removed when we finish around the top here. So the pieces that can't be nailed in place, Chris is just cutting them and putting them here, tacking them, so that we know where they are when it comes time. Gotta get this countertop done. It's holding up so many different things. Makes me happy every time I look at that red wall. So pretty. So pretty. So pretty. I gotta put these things back on too. See, again, stuff isn't laying everywhere if it gets makes such a big difference, just that little piece of trim on.
That one there's got to be pushed up, so. I can do that one and doing that.
Yeah.
That's gonna leave it there.
Of course, I'll have to get this label off because it's like getting poked in the eye every time I come in the room. Chris was laughing at me. Now I moved this cart away because I wanted to get a feeling for how big that bookcase is. I think it's 8 foot too, so that bookcase is going to go in here. I'll paint it white to match the walls, and then I'll have another 4 foot by 8 foot of storage here.
Gotta go there.
Right.
Whoops.
Do you want me to hold it? Makes that big ugly crack go away. Can't get the nailer in.
I might be able to nail that way. I could do the stool.
Pretty yucky looking out now. Nice and warm in here though. Well, I call this a good day, having this all organized. You see, my big thing now is a couple of these I've let run empty because I didn't want to move them around, and my back is telling me that was a good decision. But now I want to get them completely filled up and stocked up. So it's nice. Chris got a lot of pieces of trim done. Like, some of them he can't nail in place till we get the countertop done, which hopefully will be soon. I think I'm going to get the doors next time we're in town, so that'll finish this off nicely. You know, if the doors are on, the countertop's done. So like I said, a lot of little things done today. Chris can't put this piece of trim up. He did cut it. It's standing there because he needs to put that thing around that box up there, and that is here. It's like a little finishing piece that goes around that box to finish it off nicely, but he has to cut some of them because of the way it goes in against the tiles there. So he's going to do that tomorrow. Again, one more thing out of the way that we've moved 1,000 times, so he can get that trim finished up there. And that is a lot of little things done today. The trim in the bathroom, he's not happy with that box at the top of the pantry cabinet there, and actually I'm not either, but I didn't want to say anything. So this is a lot of stuff done, the window jambs, the trim. I might get the mirror next time we go into town. Again, can't put these pieces of trim on until the countertop is in, but once the countertop is in and the interior doors, that's gonna be, you know, that's huge as far as getting this side of the tiny house done. Now, we were just talking, and we've got the wire rack in this utility room, and we won't be moving the washer and dryer or freezer in here for a long time. So we decided to make another pizza today. Greek pizza. And look at this. It's past 600 degrees in here. My eyes are full of smoke. So I am going to try opening this a bit to see if that causes the oven to cool down a bit. I didn't think I was going to have to try and cool the oven down, but I want to get this thing in the oven. So I'm going to take the stone out and get the pizza in. So the stone is really hot now. It is really hot in here too. Ooh. This parchment paper wants to just slide right off. Oh my goodness, that's so easy. Thank you, Rita. Clever girl. Okay. I guess it's centered pretty good. Probably cooking on the bottom already. So you can see, like I said, I put the solid pan up high. That is dropped to almost 550 degrees now, just because of me opening the window, and I think because I opened the flue. So let's see how long this takes. So I was only gone a couple of minutes, and the oven is now at 500. So I think opening the flue cooled it off, which is again good to know. So I'm gonna close it again. Notice how I used the oven mitt that time, and see what happens. You can see how this crust is puffing up really quickly this time, and hopefully will be cooked in the middle with this time. That is definitely the hottest that I've got in the oven. Got good coals like that, load it up for the night or for the day if you're going away, and it's still nice and warm. Plus you're heating the mass, right? Which keeps it warmer for longer. So I'm going to take this pizza out now. I think it's done. Looks pretty good. Oh my goodness. Having that little frying pan there has turned out to be really handy, because then it doesn't scrape on this nickel rail, which I certainly don't want. So now I'm just going to slide this off the stone and onto here. It was sliding right off the parchment paper last night, so let's see if I can do this today. Yeah, that's really well. Okay, now what am I going to do with this? There, I guess. This looks awesome. Seriously, it's time to get this thing cut and eaten. I think the crust puffed up even more than yesterday, because the stone was so hot this time, and that causes a reaction. That's why my scones, I bake them at 375, because when they hit that heat, actually, I'm going to take this off the parchment paper, because the parchment paper is pretty burnt. I don't want burnt parchment paper in my pizza. So yeah, the reaction to the heat makes the dough puff up. Actually, it didn't rise as much before I put it in the oven, so I wasn't sure if it was going to be as good. Sadie's waiting. She loves pizza as much as my son does. Never met a pizza crust she didn't like. It still looks to me like it's not quite cooked in the middle, but then I don't know what else I would do. And I do find that sometimes that happens with store-bought pizza too. You don't care, do you, Peanut? Sadie doesn't care. She'll take it no matter what. Yummy. I suppose I could have left it a little longer, but probably till the tiny house is moved somewhere else or whatever, you know, until it's hooked up to water and plumbing and everything, we won't be moving them in here. So I'm gonna clean everything off this rack tomorrow, move it into the rack on the utility room so we can get this rack out of here. And then what we're gonna do is get the one bookcase out of Chris's old storage sea container, bring it in here, and then I am gonna sand it and start painting it to match the walls. So I basically moved this rack over to kind of get an idea for the space. And so that bookcase is gonna go in here. Then my rack that holds all my baking sheets will go here. And with this rack out of the way, then we will be able to assemble the coat rack that I've designed. So that'll be a bunch of stuff. And of course that's, you know, it sounds easy, but that'll take some time to get all that stuff done. And of course little things like that part of the end of the trim that didn't get painted, that to me is like getting poked in the eye. But I'll do all of that when I put the new coat of paint on the window jambs and the trim, because of course these nail holes make me cuckoo. Of course everybody's saying, well, more cuckoo. That's what the kids and Chris always say. So anyway, it's looking really good. I still haven't decided if I'm going to put tiles on here or not. I really need the countertop on there to see if I have room to stack two tiles. I do not want to cut those handmade glass tiles because they are brutal to cut. So anyway, I think it's looking just awesome in here. And when I get that bookcase in here and painted white and get that rack in here, the reason I'm talking about moving that rack in here with all the cookie sheets and everything in it from my bake shop is because then it's out of the other side of the other sea can, and we need to get all of those boxes stacked somewhere that are in the aisle, because then I can get my tubby. Everything's about getting the bathtub in here. So, I mean, once this bookcase is in here, that rack, my coat hook done, the countertop's done, still waiting for IKEA, not too happy about that. Can't get this side done or the vent up either because I don't have that stuff from IKEA. But that will be a lot of stuff done in here, and of course it's going to be a huge day when I move Tubby in here. And then once all that's done, I really want to get to work on the rack for above the cook stove that I've designed for the cast iron. So, and all of the conduit and everything is in there. So, a lot of stuff, a lot of little bits and pieces getting done. And of course it's going to be a while before we even think about starting on the other side because of the insulation. The insulation is not only something that has to be done, when the weather is nice, but it's another $5,000 out of my pocket and I don't have it right now. So might have to start doing what a lot of homesteaders do and not do more work until I have more cash. So, and with things the way they are, with me walking on a broken ankle, I have no idea when I'm going to have surgery. I have no idea when I can even look for a job or think about that. I might be able to organize and do some baking for the farmers markets in the spring. Really not sure. Everything's up in the air, and it has been for so long because of this broken ankle and our healthcare system in the state that it's in. So anyway, really good day. I'm really happy. Getting those food vaults organized is such a big deal, and getting that room kind of organized. I will wait until the spring when I can take that plywood outside and paint it, and paint those boards in there, because of course the lumber not being painted is making me a little bit crazy too. But that's just not a priority right now. So anyway, really good day, really happy. Hope you enjoyed the video. The snow's getting heavier and it's really coming down out there, and Chris has gone to put the saws and everything away so they don't get covered in snow and he doesn't get electrocuted. So anyway, like I said, I hope you're enjoying the videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this video with your family and friends. And we'll see you next time.